All right, we're still in chapter 3.2. We're looking at linear systems still, except now they're going to be application problems. So how can we use linear systems that we just used in a real-life situation? So you're going to have multiple variables, but however many variables that you have in your problem, that means that's how many equations that we need to come up with. So we're going to work through these, and I'll try to give you like a systematic way on how to try to come up with the equations, and hopefully that'll help you make it a little bit easier for you, so you're not just lost. All right, so let's read through this one first. So a caterer is planning a party for 64 people. Customer has $150 to spend. A $39 pan of pasta feeds 14 people, and a $12 sandwich tray feeds 6. How many pans of pasta and how many sandwich trays does the caterer need to make? Okay. So what I usually do when I'm trying to go in there and get my equations is I look for numbers that, well, two things. First, we want to identify our variables. Let's do that. So what is it that I'm trying to find? Well, we can make the variable be anything. In fact, I don't think I'm going to make it be an X this time. What do you think?
The number of pasta and sandwich trays.
Good. And I'm glad that you were specific, because what I get frustrated sometimes when I'm tutoring kids with this, and they will say, well, we're trying to find sandwich trays and pasta pans. Like, well, what about them? The number of them? The color of them? The price of them? Like, what are we trying to find about those? So you're right, we're trying to find the number of them. Good. Glad you were specific. So we will let's let P equal number of pasta pans. We'll let S equal number of sandwich trays. I didn't have breakfast either.
Now everybody knows.
Sandwich tray sounds really good.
Every sandwich
All right, so once I identify my variables, the next thing that I'm usually trying to do is come up with, I want to pick out the numbers that represent totals, right? And they're going to tell you the type of equation that we're going to write. So this one, I laid this one out so it's really easy for you. Give me a number that represents a total. 150. 150 what? Dollars. This is my money equation. All right, we know that there's going to be a P and an S involved. How?
The number of pasta trays and the number of sandwich trays.
That's what they represent. How am I going to use those to get my money equation? Okay. You're mixing our equations. Hold on to that 64.
The number of pasta trays plus the sandwich trays.
Okay, so how will I find out how much money I have invested in pasta trays?
$39 for pasta trays, $12 for sandwich trays.
Okay, and not, I don't want to say 39 for that and 12 for that. $39 per pasta tray. Okay, so we write that as, so however, it depends on the number of pasta trays on how many 39s that I'm actually spending, right? So it's 39 times P. So if I only have one, it'll be $39. If I have two, it'll be, what is that, $78. Okay? So it's dependent on the number of pasta trays, plus 12 times the number of sandwich trays. There's one of my equations. What's another number that represents a total? 64. 64 what? People. This is my people equation. Right? And the reason that I labeled this out here as money, $150 was money. That means that we need to, when you're going back up here looking for which numbers that I'm going to be plugging in, you should be focused on the money. $39, $12, $150 money equation. Right? This is people. 64 people. Right? So I know that there's going to be a P and an S involved. So pasta, how many people go with pasta? 14 people. How many people go with sandwich? 6 people. People equation. And I think if you kind of go through this process of identifying your variables, picking out the totals, and then deciding what do those totals actually represent for me, then it makes it easier to kind of fill it in. Word problems should not be, you guys should not hate them. My guess is most students hate them, but my guess is that you were never really given kind of a systematic way on thinking through them. So that's what I'm trying to do here. All right, there's 2 equations with 2 variables in it. Can I solve it now? Absolutely, and let's use systems because it's the fastest way, or with combination method. So, does 14 go into 39 evenly? It is not. How about 6 and 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one works. So, I only have to make one change to the bottom one. What am I multiplying this by? Not just 2. Negative 2. So my top equation stays the same. But my bottom equation now is going to be negative 28p minus 12s equals negative 128. Add down. The s's cancel. How many p's will I have? 11. And how many constants over there? Well, that's convenient. So when I divide both sides by 11, how many pans of pasta do I need? 2. Plug that back into one of your equations in order to figure out how many sandwich trays that I need. So 14 times that 2 plus 6x equals 64. 28 plus 6x equals 64. $64 minus 28. We always want to label our answers. Right, and most of the problems like this, unless you're actually solving for money or things like that, they're going to come out even most of the time because you don't really want half a pan of pasta. Right? Especially if you're solving for something that involves people. Right? You don't want half people. Something seriously went wrong if you've got half a person floating around out there. Then you got to wonder if it's the top half or the bottom half or the left side or the right side. Either way, lose-lose for the person. Right, so make sure that your answers make sense. Okay, that is the closest thing I could find for a picture of a shrub. Yes. I didn't search very hard. I just I did a search for in the gallery for smartboard stuff that was there, but I like the bird. So, all right, you're planting a 160 square foot garden with shrubs and perennial plants. Each shrub is $42 and requires 16 square feet of space. Each perennial plant is $6, requires 8 square feet of space. Plan to spend a total of $270. How many of each type of plant do we need to fill this garden? You guys copying that?
Yes.
All right. So what am I trying to find?
Total.
No, not yet.
Oh.
Variable.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find. So what am I trying to find?
How many perennials you can get?
Okay, so number of each type of plant. Okay, not their price, not their space. That's the stuff that they gave us. We're trying to find number. So again, you're right. We do have F's and P's again. S, number of shrubs. P,
Did you capitalize it?
number of perennials. Not yet.
Come on. I love how you put perennials and shrubs. It's like, is it? Where's that part of it?
Smartboard was acting like my mom.
Oh. Well, no, I don't know, because like on my drawing, you have to like type in a, or you have to like drag a thing.
No, it just realigns it so that it actually writes what I write. Okay, totals. What numbers represent totals here?
160.
Okay, 160 is a total. Total what?
Feet?
Okay, square feet, which is, what unit is that? Yeah, square feet. So what does it represent? Square feet. Area. Right, so this is my area equation. Right, which means that I'm going to have a P and an S over here as well. Now, how much area is a perennial taking up? 8. How much area is a, what's the other thing, shrub taking up? 16. Okay, that's my area equation. Give me another number that is total. 270 represents money. This is my money equation. It's going to have P's and S's in it. How much money is a shrub? 42. And the other one? 6. Okay, there's my equation. All right, so we can use combinations in order to solve this one. Yep, because 6 doesn't go into 8 and 16 doesn't go into 42, so we're going to have to change them both. So if we go with this one, just to keep the number smaller, first place 8 and 6 are going to overlap is 24. So multiply the top one by negative 3. That means that the bottom one is going to have to remain positive 4. All right, so my new top is going to be negative 24p minus 48s equals
Negative 480.
negative 480. The bottom one here, 24p plus
168.
good.
Equals 1,080.
So,
I thought you did that all in your head. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
okay, add them down. These will cancel.
120s
120s.
equals 600.
I do believe that goes in there evenly.
Next one sucks though.
Okay, so that means that we have to take that and plug that back into one of these equations. S equals 5. Sorry. My S's look like 5.
Why's your mouse?
Because it's recording at a lower frame rate. Okay, so if I plug that one back in, and it doesn't matter what equation we're plugging in, I just chose the money equation. If I plug that in there, I'm going to get 6p plus, this will be 210 equals 270. When I subtract 210 from each side, P is going to be 10. Well, then you'll like your homework tonight.
I don't like it.
Yes.
Since you're dealing with area and square feet, you have to square the numbers first.
No, that's taken care of in the unit. So you're good. The unit is squared, the number is not. All right, last one. Citrus Fruit Company plans to make 13